If you're listening to this, it's only because you chose to come back. It's the Innie Outie cast, the only Severance cast that we personally care about or listen to. I'm one of your hosts, Daniel McKeown.
I'm Rhiannon Shaw.
And this week we just go through Severance and talk about theories, where it's going, and the all-important season 2. We're joined by a comedian every week, and we're delighted to have her with us today. It's Suchandrika, everybody. Woo! Thanks so much for coming on. You're actually our most punctual guest as well for people watching. You arrived when we arrived, which is a lot of guests
really
do
impressive.
not.
Very cool. What can I tell you? Living on the edge. Yeah.
Genuinely, a lot of people just roll through. They don't care what they're gonna say. Act like rocks. But yeah, how are you doing today?
We were on the terrace earlier. I mean, I feel like I'm in Miami.
I know, it is very... It does feel... Yeah.
It's late November
in
Whitechapel. It is not...
No, have this. Don't take...
Okay, sorry.
We've got to get through the winter months. Yeah. But we should probably address it. We're in a brand new studio. Which is a lot more bright and blue and so you can see...
The sofa's bigger, so Dan and I are sitting slightly further apart than we normally do, I think, but it's not, we haven't had a fight.
Yeah, this isn't like, it's not like Fleetwood Mac or anything where we keep... Our best podcasting happens when we're in a fight.
On a basis. I don't know what the background is, but I'm getting involved.
Yeah.
You'll have to pick a side by the end of it. Yeah.
You're our Yoko.
What happened after that episode? Thanks so much for coming on and doing the show, though. What was it about? What first drew you to the world of Lumen and to the world of Innies and Outies that made you interested in it?
I saw that Ben Stiller was making a new show, and I thought that would probably be quite interesting. Right. And it was about something I wouldn't have expected him to make, because from Zoolander to all the comedy stuff, it was like, this kind of work-life balance. What is that? And I saw Stills, and I thought, this is really good. I like that retro vibe, this minimalist vibe. And I just a bit like when I heard about Succession, was like Jesse Armstrong's making this. I was like, I think that's probably going to be quite good.
Yeah, there's some shows where it's by the numbers. You're like, that's a bit of me.
Yeah, I'll go watch that. Yeah,
I did think for a second when you saw Stills that you meant Ben Stiller.
I saw
Stills. Do you want Stillers on? Do you want me or Stills?
Yeah.
You got us both.
Stills cancelled again. We just didn't have time. Sorry,
Stills actually went to water parks.
He's I think the last thing he was just at Wimbledon or something, or he's always just at random events.
Well, clapping when Kate Middleton turned up. Kate,
there she is. Yeah. I feel like it was very much that show. We were talking about it before of when whispers of it go around. Both actually have quite a grey filter on both Succession and Severance. I feel like,
and I always accidentally say Succession when I'm talking about Severance. I'm like, I'm going to do the Succession podcast we do, and I was like, oh well.
The timing is terrible.
Yeah, that show ended ages ago. Was it like a retrospective?
Sarah Baron and her husband Jeff Lloyd are doing a watch back with Jesse. They've got Jesse Armstrong. So.
Oh, is that still? Is that Firecrotch and Normcore?
So I think they've made it into something like a general TV podcast, and now they've got him to come in and they're watching the episodes back.
Yeah,
we're loyal to Severance.
Yeah, we will not sell out like those do. We will.
Director Stills.
Yeah, Stills. If you're watching, we are here for you and only you. There is no other TV.
Nice guys, Spinny.
Yeah.
Come on.
We might because we only have 2 shots going. Might just say Stills is just out of frame. He's just here listening. He doesn't feel the need to weigh in. He's enjoying everything that's happening.
Steel.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. That was because I heard about because he is he's very much from the reading around all the shows all the movies he's worked on. He has quite a particular vision, and I heard that when he was on Zoolander 2, he was dressed as Zoolander, but being quite intense about certain shows, not in a bad way, but it was he wanted certain things, but had the big wigs and was trying to figure stuff out. But yeah, this week we're talking about episode 6 of the show. We've got a lot of ground to cover, I feel like, because we've got a few different things that we've talked about before, which was the severed pregnancy. There's a few. We get a lot more on Cobell this episode. I feel like
Cobell lore. Yeah.
Was there anything on the watchback vibe of this week that you were picked up more things than you would when the first time you watched it, which I feel like is a lot to ask because it was also in 2021 or 2022 when I first watched it, and I was a different person then. That was
when Outie watched it, yeah. Actually, by Innie, she wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know if this. I'm not going to put that in. This isn't helpful. There are 2 songs in this show, and I feel like everything's mirroring reflecting duality. So they have the Patricia Arquette does a very haunting song. Firstly, like in the beginning, then at them in a meeting when she's telling them off, she just sings at them, which is crazy. Then at the baby.
Yes! I noticed that this time round. She sings when she's holding.
Song.
Yeah, she's singing her "Here is great."
Oh my god!
Indoctrinating kids. And then the other song is "We Hate Lumon."
Yeah.
And it's these 2 songs.
Which song vibed? Just in terms of like genre, which song was more of a banger?
I've been brainwashed by the Keir one.
The Keir one kind of goes like
Keir Starmer. He has no good songs like that.
It's not too late for them to cast Keir Starmer as like I don't think he's got anything else going on, so he could be Keir.
He's got time.
That would reframe the entire show if it was just about Keir Starmer. Just the histories of
It's true that Keir Starmer hasn't inspired any songs like Jeremy Corbyn has. I mean, not that was an original tune. It's just going, oh, Jeremy.
Yeah, Starmer's got not even what could you put? I'm trying to think because that was like what
Seven Nation Army.
Seven Nation Army is quite a tricky. It's hard to beat that in terms of chanty.
Yeah.
So Seven Nation Starmy.
One Nation Starmy sounds weird.
Yeah, he does have. Keir Starmer does seem kind of severed. Like I don't know how to describe that, but the way he moves around is very much like he's got the kind of same kind of not robotic movement, but like.
Wait, so he's an innie when he's Prime Minister? Like he doesn't.
He's not integrated. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I'm trying. Let me kind of game it out. I'm trying to think. When he goes home, I can't imagine him relaxing normal. Like even before he was elected.
Well, he didn't. He did a very intense job, and before that. I heard that he was the prototype for one of the guys in Bridget Jones's Diary.
No
Colin
way.
Firth.
Is that true?
I think that has actually been debunked. Helen Fielding said no.
God.
But apparently she fancied him back in the 2000s. Apparently he was hot.
He was hot.
Hell,
he was better than you'd expect.
Yeah, but that's a real... That's a real downgrade from like... From Colin Firth. There was only 5 men at the time, you know?
It was the 90s, you
know. She's just that makes it seem like she's down so much more bad.
Yeah, she wrote it in the 90s, So apparently he was the prototype for Colin Firth's character.
Really leveled up because there was a trailer for the new they're doing another Bridget Jones, I guess.
Yeah, her granddaughter or something.
But they got Chiwetel Ejiofor and the guy from White Lotus, the young guy, the English guy in that. Leo Woodall, he's in that one. He's in One Day too, if that helps.
Yeah.
I don't know if it helped, but it was very much like, okay, you guys really knew you had to bring, if you were going to invent a whole new love triangle, they're like, we got to bring the hotties.
We're going to bring the hotties.
Do you think better than Hugh Grant, Colin Firth?
They have to fight. It's for us to decide. You know what I mean? Because I feel like to have a pathetic slap fight in the rain, and that's
just
how
like
we
in
know.
The original, and then we'll know if.
That's when that movie peaked then. But I don't know, who do you think Keir Starmer was fighting?
He slap fight Corbyn.
I don't think...
Corbyn's son. He's got a hot son.
Does he? I've never seen hot...
Very hot politicians or adjacent to.
He's got like 4 big sons.
Yeah, quite large sons.
Jeremy Corbyn,
Does he?
Not as big as Gary Barlow's.
Yeah, I was going to say, Gary Barlow versus Corbyn's son for the hearts of the nation, basically.
The future of the Labour Party.
Yeah, I feel like the Labour Party now feels very... maybe it's because they feel more corporate, or maybe it's because they dress like they live on the Lumen floor.
Yes.
If it was me, because this is with the, I'm trying to think, because you have very much with the Lumen songs and then the Outie songs, both go, but I was watching that bit when they go to the kind of grunge rock, not grunge rock, but like thrash metal show, and it's very like, I was thinking like, would I hang out at that show? Would I go to that show? Like, what kind of
I'm so scared just watching it.
It's a fight, and Mark is so relaxed, like, I think we'll take off now, and it's like, you have no expression or emotion, you're just like, fight, no, let's go.
Yeah, he's a very strategic, It would be great if it was like a Bridget Jones fight that started happening there.
So who would have the Bridget Jones fight in your Severance?
Okay. I think...
it would have to be like Bert...
Bert and Ernie.
I'll get Milchick involved. Yeah, I was thinking Bert and Ernie.
Milchick is too much of a unit. Like he's actually too. I think he's kind of too jacked. But he would hurt. Yeah, it would be. I reckon. Yeah, Mark versus.
Mark is a slapping.
Mark is a slapping. Yeah. Mark is a slap. I can imagine them having like a Bridget Jones's fight, but like Helly just doesn't care, and she's just like, "What are you doing? I don't want any of you."
Mark versus Solvik. She's
on the horizon.
She into him. what is the deal? She says,
kind of
get us
into
back to work.
There is this there's an intimacy there, right? Because you see her. This is the one where there's a bit of the opening scene of her with the dolls and with the kind of shrine to Kira. It's like, oh, you are nutty. Like, you're actually quite scary.
But her necklace too, like, because it's
blood.
No, I think it's a brain, right? It's the thing that goes.
Is it a chip? I thought it was a vial of blood.
I mean, I think it's a chip, but she probably has a vial of blood around the back.
Yeah. She's no stranger to a vial of blood. Yeah, she's drilled into brains. I
mean, can we talk about her little shrine? Because I paused it this time round to look at what she's got.
Yeah.
And
is that a deal breaker for you?
You don't like
what as if I'd be down with celibacy? She was right up until that point. I was really into celibacy. She was actually she's kind of a girl boss, you know.
She is like, pretty hot.
Yeah.
And terrifying. Sorry.
So what I she is a girl boss. She's
a girl boss, but in the worst, whatever that, like in the way that the head of the CIA is a girl boss, you know, where it's like, oh, you've seen some stuff, you've seen some people getting tortured.
Yeah, she's girl bossing, she's gaslighting, she's waterboarding. Like, just.
If we've talked about it before of like, you know, when you watch Succession and you kind of play it like, oh, but he's winning, like he's playing the game. I feel like Selvig is playing the game the best.
Yeah.
Of, like, if you buy the numbers, she's a winner. She's kind of crushing it. Anyway, you were saying
sorry. So her shrine. So you see her when she was a girl, like a young lady at school.
Not yet a boss.
Not yet a boss. A girl, but not yet a boss.
That's how the song goes.
So she went to some school that was an Egan school. You can see that. I can't remember which Egan it's named after. You also see that she has like a ticket to something called Carnival, which is
way.
Yeah.
Dude,
Labour had one of those a couple of years ago. It's very Labour.
That's what Angela Rayner was dancing at, I think, was the Carnival.
Yeah.
The Carnival.
And I think this is something that caused the most sort of like hubbub online. Is this weird sort of like breathing tube that you see, and it says Charlotte Cobell on it, born 1944. And who's that?
This is the theory. I think it was her daughter, or that maybe died, and then that's why she's so obsessed with.
Daughter born in 1944? How old is she?
Yeah. I forgot how time works. So what maybe her mum was like a successful, not Egan, but someone in Lumen, and she's like trying to live up to that.
Yeah, I was thinking that maybe her mum was really sick, and then because the whole sort of Lumen is all about like medical stuff.
Yeah.
So I was thinking maybe she was saved by like Lumen Technologies, and that's why she and her daughter are such like mad devotees.
And why the car crash with Gemma, or Miss Casey as we know it to be, happened, that it's then made her severed and keeps her in the testing floor, right? So it makes sense, like that's what she thinks love is like making herself this kind of godlike figure that saves people's lives with luminous technology.
Yeah. Sorry, what do you think about
what do you think about the vials of blood and the brain and the car crash and the car crash
Bring back life.
Yeah.
Like Miss Case the test case.
Yeah.
That's literally
not a subtle show. We've said this before. It's not a subtle show ever. Yeah.
That's just a girl.
Why did that just occur to me?
Yeah.
And also, she's some kind of nurse. And
yes.
So did she then become a nurse? Because she's very good with the baby. I know that's it's not classic.
I guess it's kind of medical
she seems
training
to have
stuff.
Something of that vibe.
Yeah.
So did she then learn? Because she's not one now. She's very much in the bureaucracy world.
Yeah.
What is her deal? What life's she lived? What's going on?
Maybe there is a thing of like you just have to be able to almost be a spy person, which means you have to, you know, do your regulation health and safety, where you can you know how to nurse a kid and stuff.
Yeah, you need to slot yourself into.
What do you think Milchick's done that? He's like,
that guy's that guy's milked some cows.
That's the dichotomy of Milchick.
We're weirdly pro Milchick, on this
very
show. Of like,
I don't want to be, but I am.
I want him to have a redemption arc. I do think that could happen, because I think Because also, if you see the size of the department, if he's the guy that's the touchstone for everybody, he's putting in a shift. He is running.
He always looks exhausted.
Yeah, he is not, and
but kind of hot.
He is hot as well. That's maybe what it is. It's this we have blinders on. This is like hot people privilege. It's just like we've seen him literally torture people in a culty way, and we're just like, but he's so fit. Like he could probably, he could. It's also when he's like running and stuff. There's really maybe we just like a stressed man. But so we have that. There's a lot of speaking to that. There is a lot of like Lumen lore kind of slow dripped in this episode of like we see the Keir dolls, we see Carnival, we see
the masks,
the masks, and when they go to optics and design, when they see the little printed.
Oh yeah, the like.
Yeah, the kind of what I paused on that and watched. I was like, what could that? Because it looks a bit like airport. It looks like airplane procedure, but like
it does look like the card you get in your front pocket of an airplane seat. That's like in the event of an emergency. Hey,
yeah. So
or it's like flashcards of like you know how to fight. No, you do.
This is how you get out of a situation.
Not which emotion are you feeling?
I mean, what do you think about optics and design? Suchandrika, because in this episode we get to see them making watering cans, but they said they made hatchets and asked.
More people than I've ever seen before in my life.
It's true though.
Yeah,
they must be so overwhelmed. Like I've only ever seen 2 people at once. This is like a crowd.
This is a lot.
Yeah.
I'm
this
not dealing with
kerfuffle,
it. I'm actually in a separate place. I like them because I think Bert is a benevolent leader. I think he has good relationships with his crew.
Yeah.
I think the people upstairs are trying to I think they're unionising. I think this is unionising.
This is classic union busting that's happening. Yeah. This exact thing's happening on the Amazon floor. Like,
Number 1, photocopy weird paintings of them killing and eating each other.
Send to each other in
McDonald's did that, I believe. How many lawyers work on this?
If there was any franchise that was gonna you'd find out there was cannibalism, it would be McDonald's. I feel
The McRib.
The McRib.
What's that come every now and then?
Where those ribs come from?
When that Rick and Morty Szechuan sauce came out, that was that stuff went overboard.
Churchy overtones. It's got everything.
It's very like I feel like the union angle is very much a thing of like it's the union angle is so hard for them because they just want to find out what they do. They don't even know. It's the most justifiable union request
so sweet.
ever.
They're just like we just want to find out why there is a department for goats and a department for making watering cans and a department that deals with numbers.
Do you think, because from all the departments you've seen thus far, is there any that you would gravitate to more than the others?
Yeah. What are you applying for?
Baby goat.
Baby goat.
Maintenance. Hopefully not sacrifice.
What do you think the goats are about?
I think it's sacrifice. I think it's bad.
Oh no.
Yeah.
What
and yet you want to be getting
No, I'll save them.
Oh, I see.
I'll gatekeep them.
You'd unionise
gaslight
the
everyone else. Girl boss them out.
Yes, girl bossing. Reverse girl bossing. It's like inverted girl bossing.
You pick the guy who's like, they're not ready yet. But you just keep saying that. You'd be like, they're not ready. They'd be like massive.
Like Shawshank Redemption them out through a tiny little tunnel.
Wow.
Every day you just scratch.
Only
you don't have to do too much tunneling actually, because the goats can get right in there. Right out of there, and they just get out. The rain's coming down, like just all nose up in the air.
I praise your goat god.
This will sound. I'm not trying to. This is not a real interview for the goats thing. But have you ever worked with goats before?
I've met a baby pygmy goat. I wouldn't say it was like very transactional relationship.
No one thought.
So it wasn't in a business context.
Yeah.
I'd say it was very business-like. It was on a city farm.
Okay.
I paid pounds sterling to get in. My dollars were not accepted. Threw the right back in my face.
Don't worry, we know
it's not a paw.
Oh, did you get feed as well to give it like a little goat?
I don't think I did. I think my niece did.
Nice.
I felt like we shook on a continuing business relationship.
We'll have my people reach out to your people, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I haven't. I would very much be on a city farm as well. I don't know if you can tell from the everything about me, but I've never put in a hard day's work in my life. But it's very like, I would want to go with, what would you go with department-wise?
Oh man, I think I like optics and design. Like I love a Canva. I'm wondering if optics and design have a Canva account.
Yeah. But they're quite, the artistry and the creative is very real, because you got to paint like fucking Renaissance level like stuff.
Right,
or
but
like,
also hatchets apparently.
yeah, they're doing a lot of stuff. They're going to be where it's at, I think. I feel like the future of finding out what they do is they're on the money and going there.
Or is it a red herring? Next week, are they making red herrings? Like, like,
I wouldn't be surprised. This show is a little bit, we talked about it before, but there's a certain, with some of the naming of stuff and the jokes they have with themselves, they're quite self-satisfied. Like, isn't that silly? Wouldn't that be? I would want to be in the Waffle Party dance team. Because,
oh yes, there must be a central kitchen that does melon and waffles. Right?
Yeah. Oh, the kitchen cooking would not be so bad, because I feel
that was the part the one the waffle party was thinking about.
I was thinking the weird sexy dancing.
Oh, so you want to be the mid-check of coming in and being like, waffle party time? Oh,
no.
Sorry,
You know when he goes to the waffle party
you
and he has mask. I mean,
a sexy mask goat.
I feel like you would have the most creative freedom in how you would do the dance a little bit.
Right, okay.
And
I don't think it's choreographed.
Yeah, but I feel like if we're talking severed jobs versus, because I feel like Milchick isn't severed, so I feel like that wouldn't fly. And look, listen, maybe I want to eat a waffle and
have a sex party.
Have a sex party. Sorry.
That's fine.
Sorry, liberals. That's just what I want to do.
You heard it here first, guys.
But
you've really changed since Trump came in.
Yeah. This is the first post-election show.
You're trying to get him on.
Suddenly switch over. It's like, maybe Lumen's great, actually. And maybe, we should get the, because actually, speaking of, there is a weird tie over, because we get introduced to the senator who's arguing for Severance in this episode through when they meet in the park, and that's the first time we get introduced. We didn't know it at the time on first watch, but we were talking about this just before we started recording. We think the couple that she meets in the park, when she remembers them but she doesn't because she was severed. Just for the listeners, I don't know. I feel like context is maybe important. We think they get into some nasty fights in behind closed doors. They felt like such a tense, overwrought couple that you can so imagine them going at it.
Cheese boxes thrown at each other.
Oh yeah. She's like,
what do you think of that? Like, we talked a little bit about this last week with Sasha, but the idea of severing parts of your life that you might find uncomfortable, like giving birth or whatever. What do you think of that, Suchandrika?
I mean, in a sense, yes, get rid of it, but also, it's horrifying, because you create this being who just suffers, then has their baby snatched.
Yeah.
And they do that 3 times, I suppose. And even the name they give to the babies change everything. It's really grim. It's quite Black Mirror-y.
It's very,
kind of, they've had lots of different episodes where it's like, USS Callister is one where you've got like these game versions of people, and it's this idea they still have humanity and we should still have morals when dealing with them.
Yeah.
We should, I suppose.
It's a very tricky thing, because there's so much stuff with technology that is built and designed to be inhuman, and then you apply it in these things which are gonna not make everything good for people. Yeah. Is there any space in your life that you'd be like, actually it would be pretty good to just get through that and be severed for that?
Oh, running?
Just like an exercise.
You wake up, your face you're just red in the face, like, oh.
But you feel the endorphins.
Yes.
You're just like, whew.
That would be ideal, actually, because that would be pretty. And that would be a nice way for an Innie to operate.
They could join a group. They could get Strava. Innie Strava,
yeah.
Strava, great time.
Community, you get outside, you get to feel the wind, which is a whole thing. Because they don't get to go outside, so it's a whole.
It's actually I'm a very benevolent outie. Yeah, yes.
I actually we haven't had that suggested before, but I
the idea
of an Innie who's a gym bunny.
I reached
athletic my Innie go to Kieran Nivell as well.
Oh.
Yeah. I let them have that. They get to go to Kieran Nivell. I will say, could you imagine if you severed yourself to do exercise, but then you found out you saw yourself as a gymfluencer, and you're like, I didn't film that. When did that happen? And then your Innie we just got like really into. They met people like, you should film it, and you can become like a gymfluencer because they'd see cameras going, but what is that? What are you doing?
Yeah, what if your Innie made you famous?
That would be pretty cool because then also
interesting.
But then you're made for life because it's like, oh, that's actually my job now, but I just get to hang out.
So we've looped it right back round to being severed from your job.
Yeah, you can't escape capitalism, baby.
It's always on the horizon.
It's but we had also, because just to go back to the scene in the park where they meet the pregnant lady and she doesn't remember her. I was wondering if you guys had any mortifying moments where someone didn't remember you, that you went up and like, hey, we talked at the thing, and they just completely aired you.
I mean, definitely, but I've had a lot of therapy to replace those memories.
I've actually I've worked through a lot of stuff to be able to talk about it.
I mean, I have a terrible memory, just like awful, and like there are so many people who I've met at gigs and just been like, either they don't remember me, I don't remember them, and it's just like this awkward thing of, oh no, we have met. So, I mean, on the one hand, it is incredibly rude. On the other hand, it is just part of, I think, working in an industry where you meet someone for 5 minutes, don't see them for 18 months, and then you're expected to remember everything about them.
Do you ever have that thing, that quite mortifying thing, when you remember their set but not talking to them, and they go on stage like, oh, you're that guy. Yeah.
I remember that joke.
Yeah, and it's just, I always feel so embarrassed because I'm like, we clearly didn't hang out. But I just remember,
I think it's a feature of comedy. You like half catch someone's name, you see them for the next time in a different city to when you last saw them 3 years ago. You're like, I can't place you.
Yeah.
And then a mutual friend is like, you should know each other, and you're like, oh.
Oops.
But I'm very big on, it's not the worst thing in the world to forget someone's name. I feel like there's people I've remembered hanging out with them, but I just couldn't remember their name, and like, we had a great time, and it was okay, and it was only bad if they find out. Like, it's this weird secret.
Like, I'm very worried, like, learning the name Suchandrika in like a dark, noisy environment. It's probably not the one for a lot of people, so I'm like, that's just fine.
Yeah.
It's okay.
That's very benevolent.
I'm so benevolent.
You're a real Bert. You're a real Bert.
Can we talk about Bert and Irving?
Yeah, this is peak tenderness in this episode. The garden as well. I'm interested. I kind of want to go back to the garden. I hope they get to go back.
Feel like you've recreated
We're here. Yes, we made it.
Yeah.
Oh, that is not real. No, it's not bad, but it's just. You can hear it rust. It's a bit
crunchy.
Like coming into Lumen, like the goats, this garden, we're like peering in and like it's so beautiful watching them lip to lip contact. I'm like, oh boy.
It's the fact it's so poetic in a way. It's really like old love letters between historical figures or whatever, because they don't. It's almost too much for them to actually kiss, and they just want to stay together. And it's really touching. And I feel like the episode does quite a good job of conflicting that with the intensity of Lumen and like what they're actually doing. They're like, oh, we just want to be with each other. Meanwhile, she's like breaking into his sister's home to like spy on his kid, spy on his niece or whatever.
Really went for it.
No, literally, it's like it's quite. You see how aggressive and evil Lumen is. I feel like in the face of just people wanting to live their life, like, and just wanting to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because we get that sort of first. I mean, Cobell confronts Mark and says, you're falling behind quota, so you need to work more. So we get that first inkling of, oh, and Innie needs a work-life balance as well. They need like time to go and like go forehead to forehead with Bert from O&D.
Yeah, you get 1 hour forehead time with.
Is that who you go for forehead time with?
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah.
I
forgot his name, but Zach Cherry's character, I reckon, it could be pretty tender. That would be quite nice.
Yeah.
The way he says baby goats.
Yeah.
With the eyebrows.
Yeah. Although he probably is the horniest of all the refiners, of all the macro data refiners.
Yeah.
So I would worry that he would maybe wouldn't respect my boundaries a little bit. Not that anything would happen, but it would maybe you'd probably get
I think you make a lot of comments and he lived this far away from you with the forehead situations.
Yeah. Because he's still trying to get in on Miss Casey. So he's still talking about me and Miss Casey have something going. Which is quite funny knowing that it's Mark's wife. And I feel like I'm quite looking forward to him finding out that Miss Casey is Mark's wife.
I should have, wow.
He's just getting all the girls Mark does on the 7th floor, basically.
It's kind of unfair because Zach Cherry's character is the only one who hasn't got like a romance.
Yeah, he does have a kid though, so I mean...
Well, his outie version of him has a kid. And that scene...
But
okay. I mean, Suchandrika, you're just going about your life and you discover that there's another you who's got a kid. What do you think? What? Do you want to meet that kid? Are you like...
Yeah!
Yeah!
Who's the kid with? Am I married? What's going on? How old is that child that can't count to 1,000? Is my child behind?
Why?
That child needs tutoring.
Not gonna make it. It's a very I will say, if Mr. Milchick came to my house and was like, "There's some after-hours stuff," I'd be like, "Fuck, come on, man! No, this is the whole deal." Was that
I'd open the door.
Is that like a weird fantasy of like?
Of course.
Come in, please. But it is his kid. I couldn't even say, but like it is Innie. It's so bad that we can't remember his name. It's early and I haven't had breakfast. Dylan, thank you. It is Dylan's kid as well. I feel like we should be careful because I feel like it's very much Lumen talking points of like the Innies and Outies are separate, but it is the same person.
But it is like his kid in the same way.
Yeah.
Oh, he needs to get custody.
And he got to hug his kid. Like imagine going from it's quite a nice Dylan has a very great arc in this season of like as soon as he finds out the richness of life, the rewards, the extras he gets, it all goes out the window and he's all like, no, I have a kid that you're keeping me from by keeping me here and stuff.
Yeah, and he's no longer like waffle party, finger trap,
or the little guy. And also it's a nice continuation from the severed pregnant woman. Yeah. So we just talked about what it'd be like to be the severed version. And they woke her up, and she's like, "That's my baby."
That's
horrible.
That's a really interesting point of like, because how Severance, because they go through the same thing of like realizing he has a kid and how much more that. That was a really.
I only just thought about it a second. It's a great episode in that way that it is fractured, but it if you hold up to the light and look at how all the pieces work, it's very thematic stuff going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of...
It's one to study, which, is great. I'm really enjoying having it. There's so much to remember. I've watched it quite a few times.
Yeah.
And read quite a few recaps. But, that just occurs to me that they've shown you what the pregnancy Severance is like then, and then he must have been at the birth. Yeah. Hopefully he was at the birth. Hopefully he's a good dad.
Yeah.
He seemed like it.
He seemed like it because Innie feels that strongly.
Yeah.
And now he's... How old is toddler child?
It is quite hard.
It's really heartbreaking.
The show really goes for the throat, honestly. Like, I love. Let's go tell you that when it's like so. It's like I had that with. We won't dwell on it. But do you ever watch Better Call Saul, the show?
No, I haven't actually.
That has a similar thing where it's like there's loads of sort of quite separate track stories happening, and then there's like you're like, what is the? And you're spending the whole time like, what is the connection here?
What's the
payoff? When it clicks, you're like, because they're both doing, it's either a denial thing or whatever.
So like one storyline almost comments on that character's development. It's like a novel.
Or they're doing similar, like you're sort of trying to figure out their emotional disconnect of like, why is he doing, or like, but they're very different and like you just have to do a lot of, it's a good show, I would check it out. It's no Severance, but it's good. It's weird as well because we mentioned Succession before and also Zach Cherry is in Succession. It is quite hard for me to separate because I feel like he plays a kind of
similar guy
and have that kind of gamified, like not douchey, but kind of like on top of it, so like confident, like I'm like good, and so it's quite hard for me to separate. Imagining him, I'm sure he has the range, but I trying to picture him as a dad is quite tricky because he plays such kind of low stakes character, or like low stakes for them, invested in stuff.
I checked with Stillsy. Stillsy, is he
Stills?
Yeah. Has he got the range?
Yeah.
Wow.
Fantastic. You're still blue stealing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got the range.
That's how season 5 ends? Oh my god, that's incredible.
And he's a natural blonde. Big questions.
Big question. Yeah. Is Ellie? If we got Ben Stiller on and we just ask him the most mundane shit.
God,
So what does Adam Scott like to eat?
Was Alexa going to be called Siri at one point?
Yeah. He's good. We're just grilling him on Larry the Cable Guy, like just completely unrelated stuff. Is there... I'm trying to think if there's anything else we've missed in this episode before we get on to future, what you want to... If there's anything you want to see happen in... have you seen the trailer for season 2? We should maybe check it.
I have, yes.
Was there any first initial thoughts or things you want to see happen in the next coming weeks when it comes out?
I want to see more of Dylan's life. Like
Yes.
I want to see Dylan rage. So I think he's quite controlled and he used it well, and he get like. He's very self-sacrificing, isn't he? He's like, I saw my outside life, you should all go and see yours. Oh my god, it ended so well, that finale!
Yeah, we see his rage is a real... That's a top-tier Dylan moment, I think, is when Milchick is trying to push all the fucking extras on him, and he's like yelling, he's like, I want to remember my kid fucking being born and stuff. It's such a... I get chills even talking about it. That episode, I've watched it I swear to God 3 times. I get chills every time. Because it pays off everything, almost a speed run payoff of everything.
Everything that's been said.
So you want to see more Dylan. What do you want to see from? Is there anything you want to see from Dylan's life? It's just getting the textures of his life together a bit,
yeah, because he's such a me and Miss Casey in the like the Innie version. If the Outie version's like this loving father, married for years, really opposite. I really want Helly. Like she is in trouble.
Yeah, she's in so much trouble.
As Lady Mae Brown would say in Goes.
Yeah,
Helly girl, you're in trouble.
She's kind of a classic sort of nepo baby fuck up, really. Of
she's a success.
It's a nepo baby.
So he's catharting some demons out of this. Because he actually is, I think, working on a documentary about his dad, who sadly passed away, I think, in the last year. Jerry Stiller, who's a fucking icon as well. It's such a funny...
He gave us Festivus, which is coming up.
The carnival of the 90s. A Festivus for the rest of us. When is that again? I kind of want to celebrate Festivus this year.
I can't remember exactly when Festivus is, but I'll look it up.
Around Thanksgiving time? Yeah, end of November.
I'm already dressing like George, so I might as well lock it in.
Yeah, you are.
George's the best one.
But we want to see more. I think Helly, it will be interesting because there's a lot of... there's a lot to unpack for Mark.
She's going to get punished.
She's going to get... I think she might dodge a bullet, though. I think she might, being a kid... I think, because she also has perfect plausible deniability of she isn't the one at fault. Her Innie is. So she's completely removed from that. So I think there'll be some weird... Why would they send her back in is the question. I suppose to show that nothing's wrong, they kind of have to keep her, even though it's quite an interesting tension of she'll have to go back in. Sorry, I'm rambling a bit, but
I mean, she does throw a massive spanner in the works of, look, Severance is just something anyone can do, even Egan.
And then just completely they're prisoners down there, and they talk. It's about time, man. Lumen's had it coming.
You could say Keir Starmer's had it
Keir Starmer's.
The things he's doing to his backbench.
Yeah, this is
allegedly.
He just drills in the talking points of just Labour is good, we're not going to talk about anything real.
I was the inspiration for one of the guys in Bridget Jones' Diary Things.
Yeah. That's drilled into them, I'm really sorry that I forgot that you are Colin Firth, really. And
if you don't believe it, you're communist. Sorry, yes.
Well, just quickly before with Dylan, we've seen the small clip of Dylan talking to someone who looks like him but isn't him in the little teaser trailer. Was that something you were expecting?
Brother, ooh, I like that.
Somebody, maybe more family. That's interesting thing with siblings as well, because it's unusual to have a brother and sister at quite the forefront of a show, and other people with siblings. What's a sibling relationship? It's weird for it's Devon and Rickon. It's weird for them to navigate Mark.
Yeah.
And actually, Alexis says something on the date in this episode. I can't remember what she says, but Mark's like, yes, I am severed. Alexis is like, you can't forget something, or...
Oh, yeah, you can't
cut her out of your life.
She's being a good future girlfriend, saying you can talk about your dead wife, and she's part of you and integrate her into our conversation. You can't... And then he's like, I did try to forget.
Yeah.
It's the brain stuff.
Can't believe he's going to fumble it. I can't.
I know.
She's keeps coming back for more, yeah.
He is hot though. We've discussed Adam Scott is a...
Well, this...
What is it about him, that pointy face?
This one, he's a lot more... You see him in the way that he starts backing himself in Lumen.
Yeah.
He then kind of backs and he feels more confident and feels more... This is like the version of Mark that we've heard stories about when he was like with Gemma and stuff. So you see him kind of... being base basically makes him a lot more attractive, I guess.
Yeah, you're like, he's not a wimpy guy. And we learn a bit more about Gemma on that date.
Yeah.
Because one thing I thought was really interesting is he's like, oh, Gemma was very pragmatic.
Yeah.
And she always had a plan B.
Yeah.
Which is interesting considering, that Miss Casey, like... Is that the reason Miss Casey exists? Did Gemma always have like a plan B, which was, an Innie version of her, like a sort of...
Yeah, or a plan B post-accident to save her.
Yeah.
Wow! Yeah, that would really conflict a lot of stuff. Oh god, there's so many tangled webs in this show. Yeah.
Is Lumen medical insurance just like... There is your brain is like saved.
Oh, like a Disney thing of like you accidentally signed up for Lumen Plus, so now we're not responsible for the death of your wife. Or like whatever.
But Miss Casey's like / Gemma's character. We learn that they call her a part-time Innie, which is a weird...
Full-time lover. No, sorry. Go on.
Yeah.
That was for me. I just had to...
That's for dinner.
In the same way that you were making huge revelations about the show in the moment, I'm just thinking, full-time.
Makes sense.
What 80 songs can I quote? Is the thing. Sorry, go on, you're in this.
That would be my head now.
I mean, obviously, you would take... Mark would take part-time Innie to mean, like, oh, she's only an Innie for, like, half the number of hours.
Yeah.
But, like, we know that she doesn't exist outside of the building.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah. I feel like anything that sounds like a benefit that Lumen's offering you is gonna just come back to haunt you in a myriad of awful ways.
Oh, you have flexi time.
Well, even the fact that they can serve you outside of the building is such a fuck you to the people who work there.
Yeah, the fact that you can just... Oh, 1 second, we're going to go in the closet and, like, your Innie is going to take over. And
I love asking the kids to count to 1,000.
It is a great through line that the Lumen officials are kind of useless and kind of shit at keeping on top of stuff.
They need to be in order for, like, things to... Oh my god, when Grainer shows up to Selvig's house.
We have to talk about that.
We have some primo Cobell delivery on that, where she's like, this could have been a phone call.
And at the start of the episode it was. That's the first thing he does. At the start of the episode is call her.
Yeah.
Great. This is beautifully structured and written, this episode.
Yeah, it does everything. It's like a sitcom almost, the way it just dovetails and comes back around. She is so funny. I love, Patricia Arquette, man.
Thank God she could do the show. You would not be the same about her. She
should never have to play a mother again. She should never have to do another like Boyhood, like when she's just being like charismatic. Like, no, I want her to be kind of a cold stone girl boss, like in this show.
Cult leader or nothing.
Yeah. I do want to see more of Cobell. I think that's my thing for next season. She is really.
Do we think she got the nipple cream from the shop she has in town?
Well, how does she have time to run that shop? It doesn't make any sense.
What if the goats... Do goats make milk? Goat's milk is a thing, right? Yeah, sorry. I had to just...
Okay, so the whole goat...
I have to remember if goats make milk.
Mammals?
Do goats have jobs?
Goats are a valued member of society. Can they provide... Do they add to the economy? Because maybe it's goat's milk stuff that makes the stuff in the shop. Yeah.
So, do you think the whole department was set up by her to provide goat's milk for her shop in town? It's just
It would be quite funny if like this really awful corporate structure was made just for like an Etsy shop, but it's still got the aggression of it, where it's like they're killing wives and they're making stuff happen. Yeah.
Killing wives.
It's
I think we're coming up to the time when we should ask you, Suchandrika, what's going on at Lumen?
Well, I don't know, but some thoughts. God.
We both settled back in to hear.
Right, what's she going to say?
Yeah.
I wonder if the numbers are to do with the memories of people they're severing right now, maybe, or like the sections of the brain, because they don't know what comes through the severing, because Dylan says in this episode, maybe love transcends severance, which is beautiful, and someone should cross-stitch that immediately.
Yeah.
And it's weird it comes from him.
That's a Celtic shot, you can get cross-stitched.
Yeah. Is it a shot
Severance
like ghost
transcends
milk
love.
and blood?
Yeah.
Oh,
Ghost milk and blood. That would kind of rock.
There'd be a lot of ghost blood involved. So how can they tell what transcends severance? And even if like you're splitting down the hemisphere, which just before we see Dylan's kid counting, there's a cartoon he's watching and a brain is split in half along like.
Really? I missed that.
I just literally watched this.
You come back every week. This is the most scholarly episode we've had.
I studied Ben Stiller at university. And
the shot at exactly 31:27, I think.
When he does a blue steel, it's slightly colder than usual.
The angles of the blue steel.
What was his original one? Anyway, I'll have to watch it again. But in, like, say you split the hemispheres, in a left-hander like me, that would work differently because like my language is in my right cortex. So do they work with that, or like how do they know? How do any of us know about the brain? When is this set? We don't even know because they never use current music.
Right, and the cartoon looks weirdly old-fashioned, right? It looks a bit like the Black Cauldron, which terrified me.
Oh my god, same. The pig chase, love that movie.
There's something about old cartoons which is very aggressive, but yes. Isn't it odd because like their phones are flip phones. They're watching these like old cartoons. Their desktop computers look like crap, but
they also get that like when they reach quota, they get that almost 80s video game animation play out. So it's perfect liminality. Like I feel like they are so good at keeping you completely out of time and completely disoriented. Even getting the egg, the deviled egg that they get at the party and stuff. I love all those little details. It makes it such a fun show.
And Milchick's outfits, they suit him like perfectly, but he does look like he's in like the 70s.
He's in the 70s.
Yeah.
Well, he gets a new outfit next season. He's got the turtleneck involved, so we're seeing some. It's from
the 70s straight to Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
Which is a pipeline.
It almost feels like because it does have a weird gamer logic. I feel like this show a little bit of like just in terms of like more like one of those Telltale games, where you get to choose what you're going to say at different stages, and I feel like this is you get a new skin on Milchick kind of thing. You get a new outfit.
You unlocked a new skin.
This one makes you faster or more kind. So you think it's they're working on the severance procedure.
So it's like an internal.
Yeah. I wonder if it. Because it makes them feel emotions, the scary. I wonder if it's something about sorting memories that fit together, or like brain functions that fit together into different baskets. It can be anything. I have no idea.
I think that would make sense. But then it's just with optics and design, it makes it so hard to be like, what are they all? Is it just is it like an I feel like it will be like an Amazon style thing, and it's so funny that it's taken like. It's such an absurd show, like in a lot of ways, and like it's so blown out and crazy. But like if you think about like modern businesses, so many operate like that. Like they have to have all these different fingers on these different pies,
like
which never need to know about each other, never need to interact. Yeah, it's. Do you have any new theories? Has this episode sparked any new theories about what they're doing down there?
O&D's like. Do you remember? I can't remember who it was. A couple of weeks back, we were talking about the military implications of severance, like being able to sever certain like ethics from your mind to be like, oh, I don't have that feeling or that holding me. I'm reading a book about PTSD at the moment and how it prevents you from living your normal life. These memories that you have, and if you remove them, then. Bob's your uncle. You don't have those things that are coming back to haunt you and separate and ruining your life anymore. But anyway, so the military implications of severance, of having a perfect super soldier who doesn't have any sort of emotions or more is holding him back, that kind of came to a head again when I saw those flashcards, the O&D flashcards with the how to train, so I think potentially that there is this sort of idea of your you're severing, you're creating a perfect person. Like, perfect soldier, perfect, I don't know, mother, perfect, pregnant
podcaster.
woman. Perfect podcaster. I mean, what would have to be
perfect
taken out?
small shop owner.
What has to be taken out?
To podcast, you mean?
Yeah.
Shame. The part of you that feels cringe, I guess. The part of you that thinks your opinions might not need to be heard by everybody. Like,
the part of you that cringes.
Yeah. Which, to be fair, we all should do. But that could be. I feel like we probably, how long have we got? Okay, we got time. I feel like that is Lumen's ultimate goal, is that they want to be everything. They want to be housing. They want to be in your life. They want you to they want to own every little crevice of you, and that's kind of why Cobella's so scary, because she's so involved in Mark's life, and is
she's turning up to Devon and Rickon's house now.
Yeah, she's just going. Yeah, what the hell? It's that one really is beyond the pale. That's really scary, and especially, and it'll be interesting to see how that plays out now that they know. Because by the end, I guess they find out that it was Cobell, and surely there's some kind of lawsuit or something they can do in terms of that's totally out of bounds of for a company to do. So how does that? I don't know how that plays.
And what side is she on? It's so weird. And there's a feeling of indoctrination of children there, where she's when she's singing that lullaby, because it feels like she learnt it at school. It's got that intonation.
Exactly.
Really freaks me out.
Yeah, but it's really tricky, because I mean, how does her kind of how she was indoctrinated, her song, match up with the corporate values of Lumen? What's the
I suppose the fundamental thing is that it doesn't, right? That it's there is corporate power and corporate motivations will never be able to capture the richness of life. That's kind of the show's whole. I feel like that's the show's whole ethos. Is just companies are taking away from you by making you exist in this very limited way.
They're saying that Bert and Irving can't touch foreheads, you know?
Yeah.
And we want that.
Yeah, Bert can't cheat on his husband.
You're not cheating the baby of Devon and Rickens. That baby's solid. The baby's mentally fine, keeping you out.
And Rickon is dropping some gold as well.
Oh yeah, we're reading the book. The montage.
Favorite,
montage.
It was it's the word camera, meaning a device that takes photos. That one I was too far. That one's too, because we had a whole episode of dumb little things, and I was no, you Rickon too close to the sun. You went too far.
Rickon would never be that dumb.
But then it gives Mark, what's great is that it gives Mark the tools to be why are they keeping us in the dark? I'm hell yeah, he's cooking.
He needs a podcast, actually, Rickens.
Oh, he's this close, Oh my god, they will so do, I hope they do that, they start a true crime investigation into Lumen.
Because he's got some crazy friends we see in the finale. I love that woman, it's you see the bird saws, or the bird pecking at my hands.
I love her. Would you hang out as that your kind of people?
No.
Would you go to a dinner party where there's no food?
I'd write about it later. Some things they're writing, aren't they?
Yeah, just to live. And,
I mean, I guess we haven't asked you, because you're a journalist. Could you be severed as a journalist, do you think?
How would that work? Well, the ethics bit.
Yeah.
Well, mine's gone.
You come back. Oh no, I've tapped a bunch of phones. This sucks.
I did work for Daily Mirror, but not in that period. I'm far too
Nothing proven.
I'm far too young. How would that work? Your empathy?
Yeah.
Where would it go? So do you mean in the sense of seeing things that would be upsetting?
Well, I guess so. I guess if you were a war journalist, it would make sense to be I don't remember any of that now, because...
Just on the subject of that, I was thinking this earlier when I thought it was so good what you said about the military side of things. Who then commits the crime if there's a war crime? And also in terms of the war journalist, who's probably a witness to some extent, is it the Innie or the Outie who's called up to the trial?
I mean, if your Innie did a crime, you'd be so pissed off if your Outie went to jail.
I want you to just go to the gym.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have been selling those protein powders for me. Dope bloods.
Yeah.
Bad Innie.
Yeah, it was just, corporate malpractice.
It's meant to be milk, but blood got in.
But I don't want to go to jail for that.
I was a gym influencer without leaving the couch. And now I'm in prison.
Because the supplements stop people being able to give birth. Now.
Yeah, the baby just stays in there and grows up.
All the babies have tiny heads. They don't, they're coming out weird because of all the supplements I sold. That wasn't me. I wouldn't sell them at those prices. You have cut to the core of so many theories.
That journalistic eye.
Yeah.
It's the episode as well. Is that?
I think you just absolutely. You've given us genuinely so much to think about that we haven't seen. We were just chatting loads of shit about that. We really should wrap up.
Yeah, thank you.
I just want to say thanks so much again for coming on. You've been absolutely incredible. And if you're listening or watching this, tell your friends. If you love Severance, send in your theories. We love to hear about them. We want to unpack everything we get. If you have anything you're looking forward to on season 2, hit us up. Thank you so much, Rhiannon, for doing this. You didn't have to do it. I know it seems like maybe you did, but you didn't have to come along. And we just hope you enjoyed your this glass of Luminade that you've been enjoying. Stay integrated. I've been Daniel McKeown.
I've been Rhiannon Shaw.
And take it easy. Bye.
Bye.